Yo, YouTube, it's Anarchist of Darkness, also known as Sir Killington of Color Stroke, also known as WWE Black. I'm here to do another video. Um, Not a Royal Rumble review. This is more of a Royal Rumble aftermath. You know, as we know, social media is a really good place to put your opinions, your ideas. Sometimes it's a bad place because, you know, of a lot of the stuff that goes on. But I want to talk to you guys about the Royal Rumble and its winner and the aftermath, right? So, a friend of mine, in a group I'm in on Facebook, wrote this. People shit on WWE for using old dudes and mad that people go nuts for them. These are the same people who mark out for Japanese wrestling, which has old dudes that their fans go nuts for. But yeah, that's totally different, isn't it? And to me, that means basically people are pissed off because of Randy Orton. So a whole lot of people are like, Randy Orton, like, what year are we in, bro? Like, Randy Orton? And some of us are pissed off. And those are the same guys who are pretty much saying, I wish Sami Zayn won the Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn, popular in Japan. Kevin Owens, people like that. The list goes on. Samoa Joe. You understand the indie darling guys, right? At least that's what I took from what he was saying. Do I agree? Not so much. Not to have an issue with the guy, because I don't. Not so much, because I know all of us aren't like that. Like me, I do have a problem with Randy Orton winning because I'm just like, it just makes me not excited. Because I've never been excited for a Randy Orton match. Like, ever. The only Randy Orton match I was ever excited for was the Kofi Kingston one. And that didn't really take off the way that it did. Or even the one when he fought Kofi Kingston, he was pretending like, oh yeah, I can beat whoever. And then Kofi Kingston pinned him and there was no turn. There was no like return for Kofi Kingston. Anyway, let's continue. I've never been a Randy Orton mark or fan. I didn't really care. I don't care about the RKO. The memes are funny though. I don't really give a fuck about it. But as far as who I wanted to win, or I know he wasn't directed to me, he's just talking about in general for these fans. Who I wanted to win wasn't any of these old guys we're talking about. I wanted a new Royal Rumble winner, right? I'm not talking about none of these. Now, granted, I did say Sami Zayn was going to win the Royal Rumble, mainly because Sami Zayn is the only one I feel like has had the momentum going into the Royal Rumble, or he has had the momentum to go into the Royal Rumble and win it. I really don't feel like anybody else other than like Miz, storyline wise, because just storyline, it just feels like Sami Zayn, they purposely been pushing him as like, oh, nobody likes you, get the fuck out of here, you're terrible. And like the management treats him bad, except for Mick Foley. Like the management treats him bad, and it would be cool if he won, just storyline wise. But if I had my way, the Royal Rumble winners would have been between either Miz, Rusev, or anybody from the New Day. Okay? Anybody from the New Day, right? So, Miz, because Miz has been on a tear, Miz has never won the Royal Rumble, and while he's an old guy, he's not technically one of those Evolution guys, because, you know, the Evolution done in the last, 5 years, have won the Royal Rumble. Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton. You might as well have fucking Ric Flair come back next year and win the Royal Rumble. And last year, Triple H won the title the way Ric Flair won the title in '92. So it was a throwback to Ric Flair. So all of Evolution won the fucking Royal Rumble. So like, that's what I mean by, that's what a lot of us mean by old guys. These old guys, like, no, like, okay, Miz is technically an old guy, but he's not. He never won the Royal Rumble. So I would have been okay with that. He's the only pure heel. And by pure, I mean he's a pure heel. Like, for example, Kevin Owens last night. He's a heel champion, is he not? At some point, during his match where he's beating the fuck out of Roman Reigns, he goes up to the crowd and does this, right? Now, are you a heel or not? Are you a heel? Like, can you explain that to me? I see that the color has changed a little bit. Like, it just, Can you explain that to me? That's not heelish, right? He was beating the fuck out of Roman Reigns. Why stop and showboat? I guess it's because it's Kevin Owens' show. Whatever. Like, that's not a pure heel thing to do. But what Miz does is a pure heel thing. So Miz, I believe Miz probably should have been. It would have been dope if Miz eliminated Taker. That heat would have been tremendous. I would have loved it. Or had Daniel Bryan participate and had Miz fucking blindside him and throw him out like something, right? Let's continue. Rusev, for me, is like they call him a super athlete. I believe he is a super athlete, right? He's a big motherfucker and he throws his body around like it ain't fucking nothing, right? I like to believe like I'm like him because I am a wrestler, right? I like to throw my body around too. I have yet to get a chance to do any of the stuff. Like, I honestly feel like if I tried, I can learn how to do a 540? Is it a 450? I can do a Phoenix Splash. I know I can do a lot of these things and it would look pretty. I know for a fact that I can do them because I got the hops and the coordination to do it. It's just I haven't practiced doing it. I've just been working on my basics, chain wrestling and stuff. And setting up a match and being able to call it and being able to work. So I figure when I see Rusev, I see myself just big and Bulgarian and greasy. Like, I fuck with Rusev, right? Now, when we get to New Day has been the most entertaining thing for me about the WWE. Not just for me, honestly, like last night, you look at the pops, like New Day had honestly, Kofi and besides the old guys, Kofi and Big E's pops were bigger than everybody else's. Besides the old guys, besides the Takers, the Lesnar's, besides the old guys who were coming out, their pop was bigger than fucking Randy Orton's. Right? So, people don't really pop for Bray Wyatt, but they use the little things, which, everybody does it. So, anyway, the whole point of the matter is, those would have been my picks. I just want somebody who hasn't won the Royal Rumble to win the Royal Rumble. Not necessarily the New Japan guys, because I don't have this affinity. I personally don't have an affinity with the indie guys. Like, I've been watching indie wrestling since like 2013, 2014, maybe. I know of these guys, but I wasn't always that big on them. Like, it was like, oh yeah, you watch an AJ Styles match, you're gonna get a fucking great fucking match. But where's the story? Like, it's that type of thing. But as we see, AJ Styles can tell a story just as good as any WWE wrestler. So that doesn't take anything away from him. Just with Kevin Owens and everybody else, right? Anyway, that's all I wanted to tell you guys. That's all. What do you guys think? I want to know what you guys think. Who are your picks? What would have made you excited for WrestleMania? Because Randy Orton, for me, is not exciting. Like, he's never been exciting for me, Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston was the most excited I've ever been for a wrestling match, because it was going to be the first time, I was hoping it was going to be the first time a African-American athlete became WWE champion that wasn't a third generation or second generation or third generation, right? The Rock. So it would have been dope that would have happened for Kofi Kingston, but it didn't. Kofi Kingston got buried after that. And at some point, not too long ago, Kofi Kingston pinned Randy Orton and got no return out of that. Like, who pins the champion and don't get a title match? It was like, he pinned the champion, he wrestled Randy Orton the next, the next week. And then mid-match, John Cena comes out, chases Randy Orton down or something. It was fucking ridiculous. It was during like their rebirth of like the corporation storyline, or best for business crap or whatever. It was during that time, I think. It was during the middle of the match. Kofi Kingston never really got a chance to like really show out on Randy Orton. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. Who was your pick? And do you agree with what he said? Because I kind of agree, because I do realize there are a whole lot of you guys who just want these indie guys to win. For me, I'm just like, yo, what about all these other athletes they got? Because you have such a hard on for these indie guys. A lot of these guys who like Big E or even if Moose ever comes to the WWE, a lot of these guys will get left out of the fold because they're not, I was a wrestler for 20 years before I made it to WWE. I was a wrestler for this amount of years, and I gave this amount of classics at this spot and this time, blah, 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 blah. Like, it leaves guys like Big E and Moose and what's his name, Mojo Rawley, and all these guys who are like two-sport wrestlers who was doing something else before they were doing wrestling. It leaves people out like Rusev. It leaves these guys out to dry because all you want is what you want and not what's collectively good for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to build up a whole bunch of people. Like, at one time, I remember there was like 5 contenders for the WWF Championship. At one time in WCW, there was like 3 or 4 contenders for the WWE Championship. It wasn't just 1 or 2 people. It wasn't 3 people. It was like 4 and 5. That makes things a little less unpredictable, and it makes you want to tune into the story. So anyway, I'm not one of those guys. I kind of agree with them, but at the same time, I'm one of those people who didn't really care about an indie guy winning. I wanted a new guy to win because I want a new star. Like, give me somebody new. Like, kind of tired of the old guys. Like Randy Orton, to me, he's done. He's been done. Like, John Cena, to me, was done. Congratulations on the 16, but like, he's done. Like, he's about to lose that in Elimination Chamber. And if he keeps it, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, I guess it's because he puts asses in seats, I guess. But let me guys know what you think.